Blackwood Manor sat hunched on a lonely hill. Tall, dark trees surrounded it like silent guardians. Their branches, skeletal and bare in the fading light, scratched at the grey sky. The wind sighed through them, a mournful sound. It carried the scent of damp earth and old memories. Elara, new to this place, felt the house watching her. It had been her great-aunt Seraphina's home. Now it was hers, a legacy of stone and shadows. The air inside was thick with the dust of years. Sunlight struggled to pierce the grimy window panes, creating long, dancing shadows. The floors creaked with every step Elara took. Each sound seemed to echo warnings or perhaps invitations. The wallpaper, patterned with faded roses, peeled in corners. It revealed older layers beneath, like layers of forgotten time. Portraits with solemn eyes lined the hallways. Their gazes seemed to follow Elara as she explored. She wondered about the lives they had lived within these walls. Great-aunt Seraphina had been a recluse, people said. A woman who kept to herself and perhaps kept many secrets too. The silence of the manor was heavy, almost a presence in itself. Every room held a story, Elara thought. The parlour with its grand, shrouded piano felt like a stage waiting for actors. The library, overflowing with books, smelled of aged paper and mystery. Even the kitchen, with its cold, vast hearth, seemed to hold the ghosts of past meals and quiet conversations. Elara felt a strange pull towards the house. It was more than just bricks and mortar. It was a vessel holding something precious, something hidden. She knew with the certainty that settled deep in her bones that her great-aunt had left more than just property behind. The obsidian eye. That was what the locals sometimes called the highest circular window in the attic. It was made of dark, almost black glass. It seemed to absorb the light rather than reflect it. From a distance, it looked like a single unblinking eye staring out over the countryside. Elara had not yet dared to venture into the attic. She felt a sense of trepidation, a feeling that the heart of the house's mystery lay up there, under that dark, watchful window. The manor was a puzzle, and Elara was just beginning to find the pieces, each one cloaked in shadow. Days turned into a quiet routine for Elara. She spent her time cleaning, exploring, and trying to understand the house. One afternoon, while clearing out a dusty old desk in the study, she found it. Tucked beneath a loose floorboard wrapped in oilskin was a small, leather-bound journal. The leather was cracked with age. Its pages were brittle and yellowed. The ink on them was faded, sometimes difficult to read. This, she knew instantly, belonged to Seraphina. Her heart beat a little faster. This was a direct link to the enigmatic woman she had never known. She carefully opened the journal. The handwriting was elegant, spidery, and filled many pages. At first it seemed like a simple record of daily life. Notes about the garden, the weather, the changing seasons. But as Elara read further, she noticed odd phrases. Strange symbols were sometimes sketched in the margins. Certain words were underlined, seemingly at random. It was not a straightforward diary. It felt more like a coded message, a series of clues left behind. A hidden narrative lay beneath the surface of the mundane entries, waiting to be understood by a keen eye. Silas, the old groundskeeper, sometimes visited. He had known Seraphina in his own quiet way. He was a man of few words, with eyes that had seen much. Elara showed him the journal. He looked at it, his brow furrowed. "Your great-aunt was particular," he said slowly. "She saw things others didn't." He pointed to a recurring symbol, a spiral within a circle. "This mark," he mused. "I remember seeing it carved on the old oak by the river. This small piece of information felt like a key, opening a tiny crack in the wall of secrets surrounding Seraphina." Elara and Silas began to work together, poring over the journal's cryptic entries. He remembered details about the estate, local legends Seraphina had been interested in. She had the fresh perspective, the determination to unlock its meaning. They found references to the shadowed path and the moon's hidden face. There were pressed flowers between some pages, flowers that only bloomed in the deepest parts of Blackwood Forest. Each discovery was a small victory, pulling them deeper into Seraphina's world. The journal was not just a book, it was a map, and Elara felt an undeniable urge to follow where it led. What secrets could Great-aunt Seraphina have kept? The journal hinted at a life far removed from simple solitude. Perhaps she was part of a secret society, a group dedicated to ancient knowledge or forgotten arts. The symbols in the journal resembled alchemical signs, or perhaps sigils of a forgotten order. Ilara imagined her great-aunt meeting in secret, under the cloak of night, with other individuals who shared her hidden world. This thought was both thrilling and a little frightening. It painted Serafina not as an eccentric old woman, but as someone with a purpose, a hidden allegiance. Another possibility was a forbidden love, a secret romance. There were passages in the journal that spoke of a deep connection, a star-crossed meeting. But no names were ever mentioned, only initials. LM. Who was LM? Was this love the reason for Serafina's reclusiveness? Was she protecting someone or hiding a broken heart? Ilara felt a pang of sympathy for the unknown Serafina, imagining her navigating a love that had to be kept in the shadows. This secret, if true, would add a layer of tragedy to her great-aunt's story, making her more human, more vulnerable. The journal also contained sketches of constellations, but with stars marked that didn't appear on any modern star chart. Were these celestial observations or something more symbolic? Perhaps Serafina was an astronomer of a different kind, charting paths not through space, but through other realms. Or maybe she was involved in something more dangerous, smuggling perhaps, or aiding those who needed to disappear. The hidden messages could be codes for safe houses or warnings. Each theory opened up new questions, new avenues for Ilara to explore, each darker than the last. The implications for Ilara were profound. If her great-aunt was involved in something significant, something secret, did that mean Ilara herself was now part of it? Was this inheritance more than just a house and a dusty journal? Was she meant to continue Serafina's work or to protect her secrets? The weight of this possibility began to settle on Ilara. She was no longer just a young woman inheriting an old house. She was becoming a custodian of a mysterious legacy. The secrets were not just Serafina's, they were becoming Ilara's too, intertwining their lives across time. The shadows in Blackwood Manor were more than just a lack of light. They symbolized the hidden truths, the unspoken stories, the secrets Serafina had guarded so carefully. They represented the unknown, the parts of life and family history that lay veiled. For Ilara, these shadows were initially a source of unease, a reminder of the mysteries she couldn't penetrate. But as she delved deeper into the journal, the shadows began to feel different. They became a space of discovery, a place where answers might be found if she was brave enough to look. The obsidian eye window itself seemed to gaze into this realm of shadows. Uncovering these secrets began to change Ilara. At first, she was timid, overwhelmed by the atmosphere of the house and the cryptic nature of the journal. She felt small against the backdrop of her great-aunt's hidden life. But with each clue deciphered, with each connection made, a new strength grew within her. The fear did not entirely disappear, but it was now mixed with a fierce curiosity, a determination to understand. She was no longer just a passive recipient of a strange inheritance. She was an active seeker, an investigator of her own family's past. Her perception of Great-Aunt Serafina shifted dramatically. The image of a lonely, eccentric old woman dissolved. In her place emerged a picture of a complex, intelligent, and perhaps courageous individual. Serafina was a woman who lived life on her own terms, even if those terms required secrecy and shadow. Ilara began to feel a connection to her, a sense of admiration. She saw a reflection of her own growing resolve in the faint outline of her great-aunt's story. The secrets were Serafina's legacy, a test and a gift all at once for her descendant. Ultimately, the revelations from the journal, the whispers from the shadows of Blackwood Manor, would redefine Ilara's understanding of herself. She was not just Ilara, the inheritor. She was Ilara, the one who could see in the dark, the one who could piece together the fragments of a hidden life. The obsidian eye, that dark window in the attic, might symbolize this newfound ability to perceive what is hidden, to embrace the unknown. As Ilara stood before it, ready to uncover the final secrets, she was no longer the same person who had first walked into the whispering halls of Blackwood Manor. She was stronger, more aware, and ready for whatever the shadows might reveal.